Haunted doorbell prank revealed. So, last summer my brother, who has always had an affinity for peculiar hobbies, decided to start collecting antique doorbells. It seemed harmless enough at first, just a quirky addition to his growing collection of odd trinkets. He spent his days scouring flea markets and estate sales, proudly showcasing his latest finds to anyone who would listen. My family and I chuckled at his relentless enthusiasm, noting how his apartment was slowly transforming into a museum of vintage chimes and bells. But things took an unexpected turn when he got his hands on what he described as the crown jewel of his collection, a rare 19th-century French doorbell. At first, it was just a whimsical addition to the cacophony of dings and dongs that filled his home. We'd all be sitting in his living room, sipping on coffee or munching on snacks, when suddenly the room would erupt with a melodious chime. The first few times, it was amusing, like living in a real-life sound effects studio. But as the days went by, the bell rang more frequently, to the point where it felt like we were living in a slapstick comedy sketch. Friends would come over, and we'd all jump out of our seats every time the doorbell rang, frantically checking the front door only to find no one there. It wasn't long before we started noticing a pattern. The doorbell would only ring at the most inconvenient times, during family dinners, in the middle of movie night, or just as someone was about to deliver the punchline of a joke. It was as if the bell had developed a mischievous personality of its own. Then came the day when my brother decided to investigate. Armed with a notebook and a magnifying glass, he meticulously documented each ring, convinced there had to be some logical explanation. He even considered investing in a doorbell surveillance camera to catch the phantom ringer in the act. Eventually, after days of relentless investigation and mounting frustration, my brother stumbled upon the truth. He called us all to his apartment for a grand reveal. With a dramatic flourish, he announced that he had inadvertently purchased a doorbell that was part of a notorious ding-dong ditch stock from the 1800s. Turns out, the bell had been rigged to ring randomly as a prank, a relic of a bygone era of mischief. As we all doubled over with laughter, my brother threw his hands up in the air and exclaimed, "Well, I guess I really did invest in a ding-dong ditch stock."